All right, welcome to another day of Be Agile Scrum, guys. And what we are going to do is that we are going to continue from where we had left off. And you remember last day we had the discussion around Scrum planning process, and we went deep down inside sprint planning discussion. You all remember? And then
Yes.
Prerna asked us to take the screenshot or the photograph of the presentation slide that was about input, sprint planning, and output. So, how exactly it is done, we will proceed from there. Is that all right? Yeah. So, what we are exactly focusing upon, still the topic will remain sprint planning. What is the topic, everyone?
Sprint planning.
Yeah. So, let me share my screen and we'll continue from where we had left off. Yeah. So here we had left off Scrum planning process, and you had taken yesterday the uh, picture of this, right? All right. So we'll see that how exactly this is structured. What is structured, everyone? What we are discussing?
Sprint planning.
Yes, exactly. And each one of you can remain unmuted. So how the whole idea is that if you think that you can contribute into the class, you remain unmuted so that you can definitely interact with me. And in case you think that you won't be able to contribute in the class, but inside home, that time you can definitely go on muted. Okay, I hope the message is clear. Let's continue that how it is structured. So I want two different people in fact, three different people to read the first and second paragraph, second bullet, and then third bullet, first bullet, and then second bullet. So anyone, you can definitely start now.
How is sprint planning structured? Sprint planning is typically split into two parts. Part one, scope. The team select which items from a prioritized list of the ready product backlog item, usually expressed as user stories, they forecast they will be able to complete during the sprint. Here's the sample agenda for the first part of the sprint planning.
Yeah,
What is the
thank.
what is the
Yeah.
goal for the what
Mm-hmm.
is the goal for the sprint? Use this as an decision filter to determine which product backlog items to include in the sprint. What product backlog items are ready and contribute towards the sprint goal?
All right. Now just understand how do we decide the scope. Okay. So there are two elements. One which we are right now discussing is sprint. Okay. So for a sprint, everyone have the clarity. Not only these two elements are there, but also because this is sprint planning, definitely it has the scope. Then it must have the plan, the part of the plan. Okay. So first we will have to understand all about the scope. And as you know that in sprint planning meeting, we bring the requirement and those are the entire requirement or how it is. What do you think? Is that entire?
Requirement, which
Uh-huh.
mm, I
Which
don't
is
know how
what?
to phrase it.
You can still attempt. Requirement which is? You are
Which
right.
we need for the recent action item.
Yeah, the recent and the word is prioritize. What is the word?
Yeah, prioritized. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me help you to simplify this. I don't know whether I have taken this example or not. I think, let me ask you, do you remember the example of the slices and the entire team? I had taken one example of the grandparents, parents, and the kid. And then I explained that how the client is like a kid and is demanding something which is more attractive, more alluring. And then grandfather is just like a scrum master
Yeah.
planning the, yeah, it has been shared already.
Yeah.
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 Okay, awesome. So great. So just to let you know, when we understand, I'm going to refer this analogy, half of the portion of it as a product backlog, so that it will be refreshing and easy for you to understand. So for that, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to um share the uh whiteboard. Okay, so let me share that. So yeah. Yeah. So when we are talking about product backlog item and how we are building up the building up the and attracting the highest priority slices and so say for example coming back to the sprint backlog. So sprint backlog is a requirement which has been communicated by whom? By customer. Okay, so this is so large requirement which cannot be consumed just in one go. Okay, so what happens, product owner helps with the help of business analyst as well as the customer, he slices it down, okay, in multiple pieces and in multiple requirement which can be easily developed, easily tested and easily integrated and easily deployed. Okay, multiple slices, so it is as thinner, as sleeker, so that it can be consumed. So what exactly happened generally when it is getting sliced down, it means that it has when it will get sliced down, what exactly happens, it is said that it has got certain priority item. So initially when we are breaking down, not necessarily that all the item are very, very important, but customer emphasizes, uh, guys, what you can do is that you can give me initially in the first 2 weeks only 4 items. Say for example, this is called as item number P1. P1 means highest priority item number 1. Then he says, okay, once you deliver this, then give me this. This will be as a P2, that is priority number 2. Then he says that give me this as a P3. Okay. And then he says that give me this item as a P4, means it is of least priority. Okay. This is of least priority. All right. So when the priority is decided, what exactly happens that, yeah, what exactly happen? Uh, then these prioritized items are brought down into the sprint planning discussion. Okay. With me so far? Do you see? So when we are breaking it down, either it initially all the broken down items will be called as epic, and post epic, these epics will be broken down into the various user stories. What it will be called as, everyone?
User stories.
Yeah, user stories. And these user stories, directly on these user stories, team will start working upon. With me so far? Yeah.
Yeah, Gaurav, I have a question.
Yeah, Sonia.
So
Go ahead.
epics are the prioritized items.
Yeah. So epics are prioritized. In fact, yeah. So that you can say that epics are actually, in a nutshell, you can call it is a broken down requirements of the larger requirements. So there will be multiple epics. So sometime you may not have the epic directly, but you may have directly user story. So epic has to be there, but also there would be certain user story directly, because ultimately epics has to be converted into user stories anyways. Say for example, uh, your product owner, he decides that I'm breaking down into multiple epics. Say for example, banking is the uh, larger requirement, so give me the entire banking feature. Okay. And Here, the P1 item is adding customer, opening account, balance inquiry, and fund transfer. So these are the 4 different epic. With me so far? Yes. Yeah, understood till now? 4
Yeah.
epics. There are multiple epics, but chosen epics are 4 epics. Adding new customer, then opening new account, then what I said, cash withdrawal and cash deposit. Did I say? No? Say for example,
Yes.
okay, I'll just write it down so that it will be easy to understand. So first prioritize item is this, okay, is add new customer, then it is opening account or say account opening, and then cash deposit and cash withdrawal. And they say that in the next release you can have me posted what do you call uh, balance inquiry stuff or something like that. But they also say that okay, these will be the modules on which you will be working. uh, we are anyway going to convert these entire item into user stories. Although these are considered as epic, we want certain user story very much clear. Okay, so what they do, those certain story they develop, say for example, they have release item very much clear that on 14th April there will be first release. So 14 April deployment user story. Okay, user story. Then another is on 29th April. Okay, so for this they can have directly one epic which could be the deployment ticket. Okay, but they were very much clear on the dates, so they did not bother to create the different uses different epic for this. But what they did, they directly created the user stories against the deployment date. Okay, because the date was very much clear for the client and for the vendor. That's the reason, along with multiple epics, directly they created 2 more user stories. With me so far? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes. And further, what will do? They will do, they will go ahead further, and whatever the epics items are there, these epics item will be converted into user story. You remember yesterday we were talking about definition of done. We touched the point definition of done. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so Prerna was explaining that. So we have a dedicated class onto DOD, that is definition of done, and there we will learn that how to go in more details of user story and how to structure them, how to develop them. So for now, just understand these are going to be your epics. Those will be converted further into user story, and there is a way to write that user story, and we will be discussing on a special dedicated day. Okay, so I'm going to reshare the screen so that we will continue on the topic of scope. Okay, we were discussing the scope part. Just a second. Yeah. So what exactly happened? Here the prioritized items are selected, and we are very much clear that what towards the end we are going to deliver. Okay, and what are the highest prioritized item will be there to for the delivery. What else will be there? So what I want 4 different people to read these 4 bullet points for me. Please go ahead.
Who is available for this sprint, identify any vacations, holidays, and other activities that will impact everyone's availability during the sprint.
What is
Mhm.
team's capacity based on everyone's availability?
What items will the team include on the sprint backlog based on the sprint goal and the team's capacity?
And
How
the last one. Go ahead.
does the team feel that they will be able to meet the sprint goal?
Thank you so much for reading this out. Now, in this slide, what you have focused, it's all about the game of the capacity and velocity, for which I am yet to share with you the this video. Okay, it's around 20 minutes long video. I'll be sharing. So, we need to understand who is available, how long we are available, is there any vacation have been planned, any PTOs planned, leaves are planned, is there any days on which certain client is not available. So considering all these items, what product owner and business analyst and scrum master and the client come in a sync, that based on these availability or non-availability days, the release dates will be mapped. What will be mapped, everyone?
Release dates.
Yes, you're right. It's release date that will be mapped. And who all are the responsible for which module, that will be also decided in this sprint planning meeting. Not only this, but also in this sprint planning meeting, one thing is checked, that whether the entire team is well confident on delivering these required or highest priority item or not. Okay, so they're confident. If they are confident, understand the release will be smoother. If they are not confident, understand that further confidence boosting is required, and further confidence boosting may only required when they will understand the entire requirement more in detail. So in what case, team will not remain confident? What do you think? What will be the situation when you think that team will not be confident? What do you think?
If not completed on time.
If not completed on time, what else? And in sprint planning meeting, are we doing the work or we are planning the work?
We are planning. Yeah.
We are planning. So now tell me, a team who can confirm the product owner that whether they can do it or not, and they can sound confident, and when they are sound, they can confirm it, and product owner can go ahead and decide the completion of the sprint planning meeting easily. But there is a way, and there could be the possibility that team may not sound confident. My question is that, when do you think that team may not sound confident?
If all the mm,
Yeah, tell me.
if all required team are not aware, but however, Scrum team will be able to do that, right?
So there is only one case in which I believe that team may not sound not confident. But I want to hear this from you, and not necessarily that you need to be right. I want even the incorrect answer. I want to welcome that, but I just want to know that whether you are able to think that situation or not. Imagine you are a product owner, okay, and you want to get the confirmation because you are translating. Uh, okay, but before I speak, I want you to understand you are product owner, and you have to gain the confidence from your team. You have to judge your team whether they feel confident or not. In sprint planning meeting, what do we discuss? Tell me. And guys, go on unmute and interact with me. Okay. And this, I'm talking to all of you. Sobal, Saju, Kavita, Kainat, GB, Gauri, Bansi, Ashwini, and Antelina, Sonia, Richie, to all of you. So what we do in sprint planning meeting?
We'll plan the things, the tasks.
Prioritize the task.
Prioritize tasks.
Discuss what needs to be done.
What needs to be done?
Yes.
Delivery date.
Discuss with the team what needs to be done.
What
Deliverables.
what needs to be done? When needs to be done? Deployment dates. Yes, all right. Now you tell me this thing, that what exactly is being discussed. This happened that when we will deliver and how we will deliver, but We are talking about what?
What will deliver?
Epics and user stories.
And what we can call to that what? What is the word for that what?
Sprint goal.
User story. No.
User stories. What user stories are the formation of what? These are the
Product backlog.
product backlog. What is the another word for this product backlog? From
Candidate.
where? Yeah, candidates.
Ceremonies.
From where it has all coined up. These candidates, a product backlog, and all. These are the form of what?
Scrum process.
Is it ceremonies?
No. Scrum ceremony is sprint planning. Inside Scrum planning meeting, we are talking about product backlog. There is one more, and it is not just product backlog. This is the highest priority product backlog, right? Which we are considering to discuss into sprint planning meeting, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm asking, what is the another word for those from where these have coined up this product backlog?
Epics.
Epics, that's okay, but we converted them into epic. What has been converted into epic?
Requirements.
Requirements, exactly. I wanted to hear that. Requirements are the word. Okay. So actually what I was asking you all that we are going to discuss requirement. Okay. And in sprint planning meeting, we discuss the requirement. Coming back to the question, when as you product owner will understand whether your team is confident or not?
If
Tell
they
me.
have enough requirement gathering.
Can you repeat that, Soni?
If they have enough requirement gathering.
Okay. So in sprint planning meeting, we discuss that how long it will take. And we also distribute those requirement or those backlog item, prioritize backlog item with the team. Now, as a product owner, you want to understand whether team is confident or not. So in two cases or one cases, you can judge whether team is confident or not. I'm asking that when. Say, for example, can I take this example? At home, you have kids, okay? Right? And those kids are up to 10 years old, say, for example. And you ask them to do certain activity in certain way. Now, either your kid is very much confident and immediately he moves and take the action. That's number one scenario. Number two, that kids is still wondering and looking at your face. Why he might be looking at your face?
No
Because they
experience or no
Because he
knowledge.
doesn't know how to complete the task.
He doesn't know how to. Can you
in,
repeat again?
He doesn't know how to complete the task or doesn't know the
He,
ways how to complete
yeah,
the task.
exactly. Do you think that could be the ideal scenario when your kid is not understanding what exactly to be done?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why still he's wondering. Okay, you might have used certain word, he might have never heard it up to 10 years. And today he is all of a sudden he is listening. Likewise, do you think it may happen in the sprint planning meeting? Product owner is, see, for me, I took so much time just mere conveying this question to you, and I still took around 10 minutes for you to understand to understand what exactly I'm asking. In a similar manner, when product owner is trying to convey the requirement might not get understood by the worker, by the staff member, by the team member, and they may not sound confident enough. You may not receive the yes very firmly from them. Okay, the moment you explain everything and still you need to get it extracted whether your team has understood those requirement or not, because if the requirement is not understood, do you think that can be developed well, that can be tested well, and
No.
that can be designed well? No.
No.
Yeah, of course not. So it's your duty to gain that confidence from your team. If that doesn't come, your work cannot be started, neither can be finished on time. So this is your pure responsibility, at least, to gain that confidence from your team. With me so far? So this is, I'm preparing you when you will be acting directly. So what may happen? So you will have two choices. Either when you gather the requirement, go ahead and walk through that requirement one more time in presence of business analyst, so that if real-time question will be there, that will get answered. Or in case you don't have the recording at all, go ahead, write back to your uh, customer and gain more clarity. So it can be the situation, something you may not understand. So if you don't understand what I said, what you should do, what are those two ways?
Ask questions,
Ask questions directly or write, send a mail.
communicate.
Yeah. So say for example, I said two things. Either you reach back to the customer or reach back to what?
Product owner.
No. Okay. See, these are the ideal thing. Product owner will sense whether you are confident or not. So in the sprint planning meeting. So in case he is not confident, so what he'll do? He will try to convey you back more details. Few details he may not give you the answer of. And for that, you feel the urge of going back to the customer. But before even you go back to the customer, you will have to check with one thing. What is that one thing? Can you directly, should you go directly to the customer without checking whether these answer can be uh, uh, gotten directly inside or not? Say, for example, you think that BA can give me the answer or product owner can give me
Scrum
the answer.
master.
So, but Scrum Master can give me the answer, but none of them are able to give you the right answer. And I say that even before you could reach to the customer, you reach on to one thing for which I have already given you the answer. Either you will refer to this or you will reach back, and later you may reach back to the customer by writing email and all.
Requirements.
Listen to
Can you
recordings.
listen to what?
Recordings.
Recording, exactly. Make sure what all the meetings are happening, you have the recording of that, and reach back to the recording first. Okay. It's not ideal and not appreciable even if you have the recording, you are reaching back to the customer. Okay. Because it means that a customer may understand their discussions are less valued. Okay. You can't you don't want to take effort of getting the clarity at your end. You don't want to put any effort, and that does not give the right signal to the customer. With me so far? Yes? No?
Yes.
Yes.
So be very much clear. Don't try to always look for the easy way. Do your own work first and then reach out to the customer. Otherwise, it's like then happens like, should we even give these team the another project or not? So you will be judged differently by the client. And as a right product owner, you won't want this to happen with you. Okay, or with your team or with your organization. Yes. Now you have
Yes.
the very much clarity, very much idea that how things to be approached in the when you feel the lack of confidence in the team. Now there is one more element. These all things are happening at in the sprint planning meeting with the scope side. When you are deciding the scope, you are conveying, guys, what need to be developed, what should we consider, what should we not consider. The entire translation of requirement is happening, not of the entire requirement. Entire translation of the chosen requirement is being discussed. Those are of the high priority. Now here you will do the detailed planning. So I want two different people to read this two bullet points for me.
The team discusses in more detail how they will deliver the selected product backlog items.
And the second person with the second bullet.
This
Go
may
ahead.
but does not have to include identifying tasks for the product backlog items, whether there are any dependencies between the items, and signing up for the initial product backlog item that each team member works on.
Yeah, thank you so much for reading this out. Now in the planning phase, in fact, when you're planning in detail all those 4 chosen requirement, remember that these selected item we are going to deliver but how we are going to deliver, that should be very much clear. The order will be clear, the timeline will be clear, but also you need to identify, is there any item which is dependent on something? Say, for example, coming back to this example, okay? Coming back to this example, and here, do you think that if this is not there in the place, let me use the different color. Say, for example, this is not there in the place, can these all be activated and considered?
No.
These three items? Yeah?
No.
No. So isn't there a dependency of these three items onto this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Add new customer will be there. If customer itself is not there, whose account you will operate? Who will withdraw the cash? Who will deposit the cash? So account has to be there. So account is account opening is dependent. Sorry, cash deposit and cash withdrawal is dependent upon the account, and account is dependent upon the new customer. Yes. So likewise, you need to identify the bottlenecks or dependency and make sure those are always considered into the planning meeting and in the backlog item. And that's the reason you are very much clear that whatever the prioritized item you have taken are actually prioritized item and they are non-dependent. In case any dependent items are there, those have to be addressed first, that you are going to be very much sure of. With me so far?
Yeah.
Yes, no, any question further? Okay. So those who have joined further just now, remember what we have just now discussed. Still, we are into sprint planning meeting, and we have discussed that how it is structured, how we will, what we will what will be there. The highest prioritized item will be taken as a scope discussion, how we will be planning. And further, to let you know, here, imagine these are the bread loaf, the requirement, the gathered requirement that we are discussing over here will be pulled in the sprint planning meeting. Where it will be pulled, everyone? Where it will be pulled? In
Sprint
which
planning.
sprint planning
Sprint
meeting?
planning meeting.
Yeah. And remember here, this is the beautiful thing that I am going to share with you. Product owner will take the charge of the creation
Product
of the
backlog.
product backlog. Yes, you are right. Okay. And he will be very much clear with the project release date. How he will be clear with what, everyone?
Planning a project release date.
Yeah, planning a project release date. Now, for this 4 weeks long sprint, I told you yesterday, either it will be as low as 1 day and as maximum as 4 weeks long sprint will be there. So if it is full blown 4 weeks of planning is there, 4 weeks of sprint is there, it means then sprint planning meeting may run for 8 hours, maximum 6 to 8 hours. Maximum how long, everyone?
6 to 8
6
hours.
to 8 hours.
So I said if it is 4 weeks, it will go to 6 to 8 hours, means one entire day you can consider. Okay. So what if it will be of 2 weeks? If your sprint is of 2 weeks, not of the 4 weeks, then how long it should go? Sprint planning meeting should go how long?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Exactly, you are right. 4 hours. And what if the your sprint is of 1 week? How long your sprint planning meeting should
2
go?
hours.
2 hours.
2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. You are right. So absolutely right. So in the sprint planning meeting, we finalize the sprint backlog. That is the sprint goal. Who will facilitate this planning meeting? In fact, all the ceremonies will be facilitated by this person.
Scrum Master.
Yes, Scrum Master. And you know, there is a beautiful word for Scrum Master, because Scrum Master is such a leader. He takes the charge of the completion of the entire ceremony and make sure all the Scrum processes are followed. Such a tiny miny things he will take care that his entire job, even in daily stand up, he talks about, guys, do you have any hindrance? His focus is there, that all the hindrance or impediments are addressed and slashed off. Okay. slash down. So that's the reason when he is taking off tiny miny things, he is also known as servant leader. What he is known as, everyone?
Servant
Servant leader.
Yeah. So servant leader, it talks about the responsibility in detail. Okay. But when we talk about servant leader, it doesn't mean that his position has been demeaned. In return, his position go more higher and more regarded. Okay. So that's the role of the scrum master. When when the moment servant is added, it means that he is the foundation of and the he is everything of a project. A project fails, a project delays, it's entirely scrum master's responsibility. He will sense that something he mismanaged. As a scrum master, he failed. Okay. So that's the reason you need to take very seriously the scrum master. He is the communicator and, bridge between product owner and the entire team's communication, is the communication bridge. Okay. And make sure that what product owner is planning is actually addressed and it is actually in sync with the entire team, entire development team. With me so far, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now the sprint planning meeting, you know how long it will run. If it is sprint, 4 week long sprint, how long it should go? Sprint planning meeting, guys?
6 to 8 hours.
6 to 8 hours. Brilliant. Yes. So that is one full day. So if it is of 4 weeks, then what happens? So you start implementing because you have, um, the clarity. And the moment this implementation starts, every single day you meet for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. How long you will meet for every
15
day?
minutes.
Yeah, together. And for what reason you will meet? Everyone.
A
daily scrum.
To discuss the
Exactly.
daily progress, what need to
Daily
be done,
progress. Yes, sir.
any
How things are
impediment.
moving.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, and in presence of whom?
Scrum Master and
Master.
Master.
Do you think for if you are giving such detail of just mere for 10-15 minutes, this person has to be there?
No need.
Mandatorily, yes, no need. Yeah, absolutely right. I'm glad that you guys are understanding this. So now, one fine day, you realize, guys, you're discussing everything. Okay, analyzing, designing, building, testing, and one fine day, you realize, wow, everything is done. Whatever the part of sprint planning meeting is done. So you invite for a quick demo or presentation to whom you will invite in one of the meeting. When everything is done, you want to demo out to whom?
To the product owner, to the customer.
To the entire stakeholder, but customer is mandatory. And why customer is mandatory? Because you are going to deliver them, because customer is going to say exactly you have delivered the way I wanted, or he may refuse to take it. And if he or she refuses to take it, will there be any if he refuses to take it, the rework will happen. If customer is not available, then who will give you the go? That's the reason in this meeting, customer is uh, customer is invited, and that meeting will be called as what?
Sprint review.
Sprint review meeting. Now, if it is 4 weeks of a 4 week long sprint, the meeting will go for how long?
2 to 4 hours.
4 hours. It will go for 4 hours maximum, minimum of 2 hours. In case if it is a 4 weeks long meeting, it may last for 1 to 2 hours. And if it is 1 week, it will anyway go for 1 to 2 hours. With me so far? You now understand sprint reviews time, duration, how long it will go?
Can you repeat
Yes.
the time duration for a sprint review?
Yeah. So if it is 4 weeks, if it is 4 weeks, the ideal time will be the 4 hours. If it is 2 weeks, it may go for 2 hours. And if it is 1 week, it will go for 1 hour.
1 hour.
That's how you can consider. Okay. Why I'm sharing this with you? Because you can be the future Scrum Master and you should be top of it. You should plan those meetings so that it should not exceed than these timelines. Okay, understood? And You are also future product owner, future agilist, and you should be on top of it. And why this is going for these many hours, why it is not exceeding, why it is not allowed to exceed, you are well aware of that, because these are the part of Scrum process. These are part of what, everyone?
Scrum process.
Absolutely right. Okay. So the moment sprint review is done and customer gives you go, hey, good job, great. Just give us the deployment, and our team will take it up further. Okay. So what happens after you deliver this? You deploy this entire item for which you have got the go from customer. Now things are being deployed. Now you have time. While it is deploying, you come back and do retrospection. We have discussed about it yesterday, to which we call it another ceremony. What ceremony it will be called as, everyone?
And retrospective.
Exactly, you are right.
Like
Now
the reverse
understand.
schedule.
Yeah, and this retrospective will go for 1 to 3 hours, minimum 1 hours and maximum 3 hours. If it is 4 hours long, it will go up to 3 hours, and if it is 2 hours, 2 weeks long, it will go for 2 hours. If it is 1 week long, it will go for 1 hour. Okay, a sprint retrospective meeting. You know that what we discussed in the sprint retrospective, and we have detailed discussion onto that. So what exactly happened in the retrospective? You have the clarity that what went well, what did not go well. Okay, these all things happen. In this slide, what we understood that sprint planning meeting will go for 4 hours, 8 hours for one entire day. If it is 4 weeks long sprint, sprint review will go for 4 hours if it is 4 weeks long sprint, and sprint retrospective will go for 3 hours if it is 4 hours long meeting. So we get to know about the duration of it. So how ideally it will look like: the product owner will come with the project vision. Okay, Richie has some question. Go ahead, Richie.
So the time frame which you have mentioned, will it be the specific, like, or it can be varied?
Varied means what exactly is in
As
your
you
mind?
said, like 6 to 8 hours, like, is it particularly to be 6 to 8 hours, or is it according to the Scrum Master that he can manage the time?
Okay, so if it
In
is
real
four
time.
weeks, yeah, in real time, it has to be discussed in this manner only. In fact, for 4 weeks long meeting, why it is being shared over here maximum timeline, because the room or web conferencing tool will be booked accordingly for that timeline. Say for example, if it is remotely available and these are the licensed tools you are using for the meeting, it has to be communicated with the other team, because they may also look for those licensed tools. Or say for example, if it's the physical meeting, then meeting rooms will be booked accordingly. Okay, so yes, if when I'm saying the 8 hours maximum, it can be booked for 9 hours. Okay, that say for example, towards the end, everyone is dispersing, still one-on-one discussion may require while coming out of the room and all. So these things will be taken care, because when you are wrapping up the things, you have to completely wrap it up. As a scrum master, you will make sure that whatever you have taken inside, if you need to disperse out, you will have the time to do so. Okay, likewise, when sprint review meeting is there, you are booking for the 5 hours. Likewise, in the sprint retrospective meeting is there, you are booking for 4 hours. That's the reason the maximum time duration and minimum time duration is there. However, it may vary, not necessarily sometime it will go for 8 hours. Or it can be concluded before 8 hours, towards in the 7 hours only. Okay, so it will vary. Not necessarily it has to be formed 8 hours only, or 6 hours only. It may get over within 7 hours sometime. Yeah. There will be certain breaks. People would require some bio breaks and all. If it is of the entire day, there could be lunch break in between. So you need to consider everything. All right.
Okay.
Sometime in some booking tool does not allow to book the rooms for entire day. So you will have to book in 2 slots, pre-lunch and post-lunch. Got it? So
Yes.
these things as a Scrum Master, you need to understand, and accordingly, you have to make it available for your entire team. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Richard? Yeah. Thank you. It may sound very, nominal thing, but understand if another team has the planned meeting, they won't allow you to sit further. Okay, the entire planning will be disturbed. In fact, some critical things you are discussing, and that will entirely go on toss because it has been taken over by another team because even their discussion is of top priority, and those could be critical if you have not taken care of such booking timeline and all. Okay, so in a nutshell, when I was discussing this, that product owner will come with the vision, he has the complete release date planned, then sprint planning will take over, and the moment sprint planning gives the sprint backlog, then implementation happen. During everyday implementation, the daily stand-up call will happen just to identify the progress, and one fine day you find that okay, all the work is done, then you call the customer for the sprint review, and the moment sprint review is done and customer gives the go, you go ahead with the deployment. And then in between, while deployment is happening, and new meeting is to get started, not on the same day, it can happen on the next day, before the new sprint start, you can call for the sprint retrospective meeting. So this is how the entire Scrum process will look like. This is the typical framework, pictorial representation of the Scrum. Okay. So in a nutshell, in the sprint planning, what exactly is happening? You have the input and you have the output. In between, you discuss on what to be done, how to be done, and who will be doing. Got it? The entire sprint planning pictorial representation, everyone? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are more few things. Let's understand the how part. So I want someone to read the how part. Go ahead.
The development team plans the work necessary to deliver the sprint goal. Ultimately, the resulting sprint plan is a negotiation between the development team and the product owner based on value and effort.
Yeah. So this is the simple English. It says that uh, whatever the necessary item is there, that has to be the sprint goal. Okay. So, and it is the negotiation between development team, or sometime you may say that as a product owner, you may ask your development team why you are taking 2 weeks to develop certain module. Why it is not 1 week, or why it will take 8 hours or 12 hours. Why not it will take lesser than that. So you must make sure that the proper reasoning is there with your team. So how they will conclude on this, there will be a dedicated lecture onto this towards the fourth week. Okay, I want someone to read the who part, the first bullet point for me.
The who. You cannot do sprint planning without the product owner or the development team.
Yeah. So sprint planning will be in presence of product owner. Why development team? Because these are the people who will be, executing the task. That's the reason development team will be there. The second element I want someone to read.
The product owner defines the goal based on the value that they seek. The development team needs to understand how they can or cannot deliver that goal.
Yeah. Now, in presence of product owner, when you are giving the task, how long, why this will take this much time, you also need to understand. Sometime they need to identify that what may stop them from delivering, what may not support them to move further. So these all elements you need to understand, that what is exactly they are intending, and when they are giving you some promises, is there something which is of dependency that you are missing, or uh, your team is thinking of? So you will have to withdraw those clarity post the during the discussion, when you are identifying that who is doing that, because this is the self-organizing team. What kind of team these are?
Self-organizing team.
Yeah, self-organizing team. This team does not require any bosses. That's the reason they will themselves voluntarily tell that, hey, I want to complete this. And when they are volunteering, make sure that there is no such dependency In fact, when they are volunteering, we are preparing you for that. How we are preparing you for that? Because this is a very small and ignorable activity. You will see that when I am asking you to even read these bullet point, am I asking you to by name? Hey, go ahead, uh, Antelina or Sonia or Ashwini to read it, or I'm just giving you an opportunity. Come forward, take the opportunity and lead it and read it. Do you find this is happening? We could have go ahead and taken your name. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we are never ever, you won't find us doing that, because we are preparing you for that self-organizing team when sprint planning meeting will happen. If you are the senior business analyst or business analyst, you are going to tell that this module I am going to analyze, these 3-4 module I am going to analyze, the another 4 module or another 2 module the another person may take off. So where you are showcasing, and that will define that you take the ownership, you are the leader, you can drive the show. So this is that kind of representation we are preparing you for. I want someone to read the third bullet point. Please go ahead.
If weather is missing from this event, it makes planning the sprint almost impossible.
Yeah. So if product owner is not there or development team is not there, with whom you will be doing the sprint planning meeting if no one is there? So it's obvious that it is impossible to do that planning. When it is impossible to do that planning, it won't happen. Then you need to have the clarity on the input and output. I want 2 different people to quickly read these 2 bullet. Please go ahead.
The input. A great starting point of the sprint plan is the product backlog, as it provides a list of the stuff that could potentially be a part of the current sprint. The team should also look at the existing work done in the increment and have a view to capacity.
Yeah. I want someone to read the output part as well.
The most important
Outputs.
outcome
The
of the
most
sprint
important
planning meeting is that the team can describe the goal of the sprint and how they will start working towards that goal. This is
Yeah.
made visible in the sprint backlog.
Yeah. Now you are very much clear, pretty much clear that when you're talking about the sprint planning meeting, input means it has come from product backlog. From where it has come? From where it has come?
product backlog.
Product backlog.
Product backlog. And as a nutshell, when I see that who will do what, how long it will take, while you're deciding these all things, it will be sprint goal, but also now because it is being discussed in the sprint, it will be called as sprint backlog. You are all right. So not much discussion is required on this note, but you can visualize like this. Product backlog will be visualized by product owner on the Scrum board or say Kanban board like this. Okay, in sprint planning meeting, all the discussion is happening, and when sprint goal is decided, sprint backlog is discussed. So everything will be on the board. So this will be done by whom? Who is the owner of which item or user story? It will be pretty much clear. We will have more discussion around it in the next coming days. Considering the time, we'll have to take a pause because someone requested. If it is beyond 9, I cannot be there. So considering this thing, I want you to go ahead and comment on inside the Scrum WhatsApp group, BA Scrum WhatsApp group. Go ahead and tell, how did you feel? Was it very easy to understand? What do you feel like saying inside the WhatsApp group so that I can take your attendance as well? Okay. Go ahead and drop your review inside it. What do you feel like saying? And excuse me for the delay, guys, because I could not communicate somehow. The entire shutdown, the moment the electricity was restored, I recharged my phone and then went ahead. Okay. So this is how I'm going to take a note of your presence. So go ahead and comment inside the WhatsApp group. So thank you so much for showing up. Jivi has some question. Go ahead, Jivi, ask me the question.
Yeah, the RRP session 10 p.m. EST. So, do you have any idea when it's going to start?
So be in touch with your HR, ask
Okay.
her, because it
Okay.
happens on every Tuesday and Thursday. Okay,
Yeah,
Jimmy?
but right now it's at 7 p.m. EST, and there is another session 7 p.m. and 4 p.m. I think the 4 p.m. it's actually not working for us since I'm living in California. So I'm waiting for the 7 p.m. EST. Previously, it was mentioned like in the April it will going to start. So that's why I asked.
Yeah. So it
Yes.
will be starting this week itself, I believe that 7 p.m. Will be there. Why it might not be happening because Dev Siva was not there. Now he is available in the USA, and I think he should be aligned in this time. And just recheck with your HR. Is it going to get started? She will confirm you very soon. And I believe that it is going to get started.
We had a weekend session on Sunday.
Okay.
Oh.
So.
Oh, really?
Also,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Yeah,
Let
they
me
had a
so
check.
you will be
polling
covered with that.
about the session for Sunday.
What
Oh.
Bansi? What do you
They
say?
had
Can you
they
repeat?
did the poll thing, like
Okay.
how many would be there, and they did the session on Sunday.
Yeah. Based on your presence means things will continue. So yeah, it is going to get started. Okay. Let me
Okay.
address.
Thank you.
You're welcome, JB. So let me address the question from Rishi. Rishi, yes, you have question now?
Yeah. I just want to know do we have any schedule for this?
Schedule of what?
Of the entire BA Agile Scrum.
Okay.
Which topics are we complete? Are we doing?
Okay. Do you mean to ask for the entire structure and the topics
Yes.
we will be covering?
Yes.
Okay. So I will recommend you go back to the day one recording. Okay. In that day one recording, there is the complete structure slide. Please go ahead and look at it. So that will be there.
Okay.
All right.
And also, are we doing this Agile also, or only we are going with the Scrum?
This is the Agile Scrum. You see that inside Agile, we took the Scrum as a framework. So in Agile, what all things will be covered, we are going to tell you. We are going to teach you. So we started with because Scrum is the part of Agile. Okay, so it doesn't mean that we are not covering the Agile. We are covering the Agile along with the Scrum process. Okay. There will be some time where we will not be emphasizing everything about the Scrum, but more towards the Agile. In fact, we started like that.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. So let me give the answer to Antalina. Antalina, what is your question?
Is there any difference between
Your voice is lost. Is there any difference between? And after that, I couldn't hear.
Scrum planning meeting and sprint planning meeting?
Okay, so Scrum planning meeting and sprint planning meeting. Scrum planning is the entire process. When we are talking about Scrum planning, means all the ceremonies come. Okay, and when we are talking about sprint planning, it is one focused planning meeting. Okay, and the moment we talk about the Scrum, all the ceremony comes inside it. Okay, the moment we talk about the sprint planning, it's only one ceremony where the entire planning is happening. So in Scrum planning meeting, you can talk about what? In fact, it is not so much different. In the moment you call it Scrum planning meeting, you will have the visibility and clarity when the sprint planning meeting happen, when should be the sprint review meeting happen, and when should be the sprint retrospective meeting happening. Those clarity will be there in front of Scrum Master. Okay. And sprint planning meeting, all these team members have to be there and they should be participating into that. You got it, Angelina? Yeah. But there will not be any separate meeting as such. The Scrum planning will be done by Scrum Master, where he has the visibility on which day, which ceremony meeting will be there, so that he can send the invite to the all concerned team or the associated team members accordingly. Got it, Angelina? And thank you for this question. Yeah. Any other question, guys? In case no question, we can wrap it up over here. Let me see if any question is there into Okay. And thank you so much for being for this delay thing. It was completely unexpected, unplanned. I totally appreciate you still showing up and still participated. So I really wanted to appreciate you. Thank you so much. Go ahead, type into the WhatsApp group. What do you feel like saying? Did you get some value out of it or not? Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone. Thank you.